Hey, MAGA Mike Johnson, you're disappointing Donald Trump. Are you panicking, MAGA Mike Johnson? You're going to be responsible for the shutdown, MAGA Mike Johnson, and the entire country knows it because you and Donald Trump were the ones who canceled all meetings and all conversations with Democratic leaders. You know, you do need Democratic votes in the Senate in order to pass a funding bill to stop the shutdown. And all Americans now know, it's on tape, that Donald Trump ordered you, do not have conversations at all with Democrats, yet alone negotiate with Democrats. Everybody knows what's up, MAGA Mike. And when you try to spew the already ridiculous and heinous talking points of Donald Trump, like, oh, Democrats just want to fund the trans. They want to fund the trans. They want to fund illegal aliens. And that's why they're going to shut the government down to fund illegal aliens. No, MAGA Mike. Americans are not living in your MAGA tunnel vision anymore. At least most Americans aren't. People are suffering right now. We know that inflation hasn't been eliminated. People are living paycheck to paycheck right now. And people in America, let me tell you, MAGA Mike, are terrified that they're going to lose their health care. They know that the disastrous budget bill, which y'all call the big budget bill, is not going to improve health care. We're not a bunch of idiots. We know it's gone after Medicaid. It will harm Medicare, and the Affordable Care Act tax credits are set to expire. So all the Democrats are doing right now, and the American people know it at this point, is saying, can we just protect the Affordable Care Act tax credits so people don't go bankrupt? Because that's what's going to happen. This is actually a principled stand being taken by Democrats. But here's what MAGA Mike says. The problem is that Democrats only want to meet to repeat their demands that we include free health care to illegal aliens, $500 million to prop up liberal news outlets, other leftist priorities, and a massive $1.5 trillion spending hike in a simple 7-week funding bill. They are holding government funding hostage. Meanwhile, House Republicans are doing our job and restoring regular order to the appropriations process. If Democrats fail to pass our clean, nonpartisan 24-page CR to keep the government open, the American people will know where the blame lies. Hey, MAGA Mike, why are you canceling Congress? The 29th and 30th are work days. Why did you tell Republicans don't show up to work on the 2 days before a shutdown? Why would you cancel a meeting and not even attempt to negotiate in good faith? Now, do I think that you would actually behave in good faith at those negotiations? Do I think that Democrats were naive to think that they'd actually be able to negotiate a deal at the White House with you and Donald Trump? Perhaps. But y'all canceled the meeting. So I'm just trying to understand this. You've canceled the work days. Well, Americans show up to work, right? Y'all are canceling work days. You canceled most of summer work days because you want to hide the Epstein files. Wait. Is this all about the Epstein files too? Now that the Democrats have a new member of Congress in, because the Arizona special election and there's 218 votes to now get the discharge petition. Is that why Donald and you actually want to shut down the government? Well, in any event, you're shutting down the work days, the 29th and the 30th. You're refusing to talk to Democrats. That's not regular order. You're refusing to have a conversation. Again, yet alone negotiate. And you canceled the meeting. But now your view is the problem is that Democrats only want to meet to repeat their demands. How do you even know that if you don't talk to them and if you don't meet with them? But anyway, go on, MAGA Mike. Keep on panic posting. MAGA Mike goes, reminder, House Republicans have already done the job of passing a clean bipartisan bill to keep the government open. Pause, MAGA Mike. That takes away people's health care. That takes away people's health care on Affordable Care Act, not even Medicaid, which is bad enough, which in and of itself is a travesty. You're going after the Affordable Care Act plans. Then MAGA Mike goes, let's be clear on the Democrat position. Reminder, let's be clear. Sounds like someone's a panicking, MAGA Mike. MAGA Mike goes, let's be clear. Democrats want to shut down the American government, hurting American citizens so that they can give free taxpayer-funded healthcare to non-Americans. Oh, great tactic, MAGA Mike. Go after the migrants, go after trans, go after marginalized communities. When the going gets tough, attack a community that already is suffering. Attack the weak. How very Christian of you, MAGA Mike. How very Christian of you. I'm being sarcastic, of course. Then Donald Trump comes in and he posts, the Democrats want illegal aliens, many of them violent criminals, to receive free health care. The Democrats want $500 million to help radical left news outfits. The Democrats want to leave dead people on Medicaid and Social Security rolls so that criminals can continue to be allowed to receive that payment and steal their money. The Democrats want to cut billions of dollars from our once vulnerable rural hospitals, which we fixed by giving them the largest cash infusion ever. The Democrats want men playing in women's sports, transgender for everybody, open borders, and perhaps most importantly of all, 5-letter words, crime. They like it and we don't. And so many other things that will destroy America. We cannot let this happen. Folks, we have a deep education problem if what I just read for you there works on Americans. And by the way, we do have a deep education problem because, oh, that's what you think Democrats want? Yeah, it's all about the trans and the migrants and pro-crime and no. And then Donald Trump goes, well, the Democrats were the ones over here who are cutting rural hospitals. Literally in your disastrous budget bill, that's what you are doing. You cut $1 trillion and then your cash infusion is 50 billion after cutting $1 trillion? Like, y'all don't think that people can do the math? And then also the deficits have never been higher. America's accumulating more debt than ever. Where are those fiscal hawks at? You know, when these MAGA Republicans, they call themselves the hawks, like caw, caw, fiscal hawks, everybody. Bunch of stupid nicknames that they get. These are the most fiscally irresponsible people who are currently accumulating more debt right now than ever. These people are destroying our futures right now. And then Donald Trump posts the following. After reviewing the details of the unserious and ridiculous demands being made by the minority radical left Democrats in return for their votes to keep our thriving country open, I have decided that no meeting with their congressional leaders could possibly be productive. So I just want you to pause right there. Do you think our country right now is thriving? Do you feel we live in a do you feel do you wake up in the morning and go to sleep at night and go, oh, me and my family, we are just thriving right now. You know who does? Donald Trump, because he made billions of dollars off of crypto schemes and off of quid pro quos with the White House. You know what they're focused on? 90,000 square foot ballrooms. They're demolishing the East Wing, UFC stadiums in front of the White House to throw sports events on the White House lawn. You've got Donald Trump gallivanting in the UK, where he was running around in golden chariots with the king, where he got the Disney princess experience. America bailing out Argentina, Donald Trump's MAGA puppet. Remember, they all said the libertarian policies of Javier Milei of Argentina are so good, everybody needs to invest there. Well, a lot of MAGA people did invest, and now we're bailing out Argentina. I thought Argentina was doing great, but you see what Donald Trump is saying right here. Donald Trump is saying, I have decided not to meet. So how are you going to blame Democrats if you're not meeting with Democrats? How do you say your behavior is nonpartisan if you're not even meeting with the other side when you need their votes in the Senate? So let's go to Donald Trump's own words from 2013 and 2011. Yeah, Trump in 2013 on how to avoid a shutdown. You have to get everyone in a room. You have to be a leader. Here, play this clip.
First question, Donald, we're having a hell of a time trying to negotiate here in Washington. So tell me, if you were president, what would you do?
Well, very simply, you have to get everybody in a room. You have to be a leader. The president has to lead. I hear the Democrats are going to be blamed and the Republicans are going to be blamed. I actually think the president would be blamed. If there is a shutdown, I think it would be a tremendously negative mark on the president of the United States. He's the one that has to get people together.
They're not going to be talking who the head of the House was, the head of the Senate, who's running things in Washington. So I really think the pressure is on the president.
And just to reinforce that, play this clip as well, where 100 years from now, when they talk about the government shutdown, they're going to be talking about who was the president at the time. Play this one.
You know, the interesting thing is in 25 years and 50 years and 100 years from now, when the government is, when they talk about the government shutdown, they're going to be talking about the president of the United States. Who was the president at that time? Mm-hmm. They're not going to be talking who the head of the House was, the head of the Senate, who's running things in Washington. They're going to be talking about during the Obama administration. Sure. It was a disaster. So guys like Boehner, who is in there working hard, and he's got one of the truly hard jobs of the world, they're not going to be really discussing him. They're going to be discussing one person. So I really think the pressure is on the president, personally, in terms of his own history.
Now, Democratic Congressmember Robert Garcia had to say the following. Let's play it.
We were going to have session this upcoming Monday and Tuesday, and they actually abruptly canceled that right before a possible shutdown. Look, Donald Trump wants a shutdown. He wants to be king. He has no interest anymore in governance or working with Congress. And the American public should be very clear-eyed that Donald Trump and Republicans are actually now going to own the shutdown. They want to halt this government. They could care less about providing services. They want to hurt veterans. And so Democrats have to be prepared to be in D.C. and ensure that we're pushing back every single time Trump opens his mouth over some craziness that he's talking about as it relates to funding the government. He has no idea what he's talking about and the damage he's going to cause across the country. And so it is possible that Mike Johnson calls the Congress back maybe October 1st, maybe before. We have no indication when that's going to happen. Could be midweek this week. I hope it's sooner.
Here is what Democratic leader Jeffries had to say. Let's play this clip right here.
This is an immoral assault on the health care of the American people. And that's why Democrats have drawn a line in the sand. We will work together, sit down, meet anytime, any place with anyone in order to avoid a Republican-caused government shutdown and in order to decisively address the Republican healthcare crisis that is devastating the people of the United States of America.
Oh, and folks, Donald Trump, though, and his family, guess what they're announcing? Trump vodka. So while Donald Trump and his family are doing Trump vodka, they refuse to meet with the Democrats, no meeting whatsoever. And just so you can hear for yourself, this was an important moment during this Fox and Friends interview where Trump told Republicans, you do not need Democrats, even though they need 60 votes in the Senate. Do not talk to Democrats. Listen to Trump say it in his own words so you can hear it for yourself. Let's play it.
How does President Trump deal with the government?
Well, we have to get Republican votes. That's all. If we do, we have the majority. So we have to get.
But don't you have to get 60, don't you?
No, we're going to do a probably continuing resolution, or we're going to do something. So we're going to do something that. Here's the problem: the Democrats they're sick. There's something wrong with them. Schumer is, at the end of the rope. He's going to be defeated in the next election. If you gave them every dream right now, every dream that they want to give away money to this and that, destroy the country. If you gave them every dream, they would not vote for it. That's how bad. I told them, don't even bother dealing with them. We will get it through because the Republicans are sticking together for the first time in a long time. Look.
But folks, you have Eric Trump saying that Donald Trump should get a Nobel Peace Prize on Real America's Voice, some right-wing propaganda channel. Play this clip.
What about your father on Mount Rushmore? I know patriots will want me to ask that because they love that idea. The Nobel Peace Prize notwithstanding, but Mount Rushmore, it just seems like after everything you all have been through, everything that he's endured, it just seems to follow.
He deserves it.
Yeah.
He deserves it, and he deserves a Nobel Peace Prize so many times over. I've literally been in that office. I was in that office for one conversation where he literally stopped a war. In fact, I was in the office recently for another one where he stopped another one. I mean, the amount of children, and I say children, young kids right now that are running around the world who are alive based on the fact that he stopped conflicts that otherwise would have spiraled out of control.
Yeah.
There are moms and dads out there who have their kids based on calls that he's made and conflicts that he's ended kind of before they really got out of control. Mm-hmm. And they have probably zero appreciation that, many of their children and many of the people they knew would not be there had it not been for him. And
here we have Brooke Rollins, Donald Trump's agriculture secretary, talking about how the taxpayers were going to have to bail out the farmers because Donald Trump destroyed soybean farmers, corn, wheat, cotton farmers, and others because of the retaliation from Donald Trump's disastrous tariffs against the world. Although now Donald Trump is bragging that his rich friends are going to control a TikTok subsidiary in the United States. That's how we sacrificed our leverage in negotiations with China. Here, play this clip.
That alongside, of course, the president's effort to realign America around American products and making all of these new deals, we are at a point where we're looking at the harvest, where we're looking at our soybean, corn, wheat, sorghum, cotton farmers who are facing very, very difficult times. We are currently in conversations here at the White House, across the government on a farmer aid package. In our current programming right now, we've got about $13 billion moving out under ECAP, which is our old farmer payment system based on losses from last year and the year before. So this would be in addition to that, in partnership with our colleagues on the Hill. We should have an announcement very soon, perhaps in the next couple of weeks.
And then finally, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent on bailing out Argentina. He says America first means bailing out Argentina while they're just get this straight. Donald Trump and MAGA is refusing to meet with Democrats while meeting with Javier Milei of Argentina in order to bail out Argentina, which would otherwise go bankrupt. And they're saying that's America first. Again, I don't care what political party you're from. What the hell? Here, play this clip.
I want to get your take on Argentina because, Mr. Secretary, Argentina's peso sliding, politics and capital outflows rattling investors there. Javier Milei, I guess, has lost the confidence of investors. They're pulling their money out of Argentina. They're fearful that he will scrap his defense of the peso. You say all options are on the table, from swap lines to direct currency support. What's the plan in terms of supporting Argentina? Is there one?
The plan is, as long as President Milei continues with his strong economic policies to help him, to bridge him to the election, I call this the screens moving to the streets. We are not going to let a disequilibrium in the market cause his a backup in his substantial economic reforms. I don't think the market has lost confidence in him. I think the market is looking in the rearview mirror and is looking at decades, if not a century, of terrible Argentinian mismanagement. And people are concerned. People are skittish. It's very hard to believe that it is different this time. But I believe with President Milei, it is. It is.
We'll leave you with that, folks. Just laying out the facts. I'm delivering the receipts and evidence. And tell me what you think. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 6 million. Thanks so much for watching. Have a good one.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to add the MeidasTouch podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts for new updates every single day.